And joining us in the studio is PR guru. Is that too much?
Well, thank you for that.
Yeah, Diane Hinds, who's coming to Sheffield to share her PR wisdom. You've got a talk on tonight.
Well, yes, I'm starting the second half of my year with the talks. Hopefully I would have done 60 this year. But this year, I've made it my mission to help empower other people through talks on public relations. And we'll be bringing an introduction to public relations talk to Sheffield at Central Library this evening. Mm-hmm. And it's for people who are, mumpreneurs, singer-songwriters or writers, people who don't really know how to get their work promoted. I keep saying that we live in a very DIY era thanks to the internet, and people can do lots of things. But I think some people really don't know how to embrace public relations to promote their book, their works or their business.
Yeah, and you have quite a glittering. I just turned my microphone down. That shows my skills. You've had quite a glittering career in PR. Is that?
I've been very lucky. And I did promote Jermaine Jackson from the Jackson 5 a few years ago. I love what I do, and I think when you have a passion, then when you get the treats and the what have you, the free tickets to shows and things like that, it's a bonus. But yes, I've worked with some extraordinary people: Leslie Garrett, Nigel Kennedy, Jermaine, as I said. At Arista, I promoted Whitney Houston, Barry Manilow, all sorts of people.
Wow! And in promoting them, did that mean that you got to meet them as well? And did you brush with many stars?
Well, the only person I didn't meet, considering I was at the label at the time, is Whitney Houston. Mm-hmm. I met her brother. But that was a minor thing. On the whole, I've met everybody with whom I've promoted. Yes.
But you've got a passion, haven't you, for PR? And I assume it's not just about meeting celebrities that's given you that. What is it that makes PR so exciting for you?
I think it's even more so exciting because of the access that we have through the internet, through people achieving success themselves. And, very lucky that stations like yours will even consider to have me on. I'm working my way up, so hopefully I will get onto sort of regional television and radio. But you can reach so many people these days with the internet through social media than you could ever have done so before. And it's exciting. The possibilities are endless so long as it's not abused.
Mm-hmm. And so what brought you to PR originally?
I have got 3 older brothers, and I love music and I love radio. Radio is my first passion.
That's what we like to hear.
I had the opportunity to work as a broadcast assistant at Radio 1 many years ago when it was a great radio station. And I met pluggers for the very first time. And I was working at the BBC before I went to work for Radio 1 on attachment, secondment. And I had to go back to my old post after about a year or so. And I just thought, wow, I can't go back to my job as a secretary. I've seen the other side. It's really exciting. I left and I temped. And I was invited for an interview at Arista Records for a marketing position. And the marketing manager at the time, a lovely chap, looked at me and he said, "You're not really suitable for marketing." My heart sank. But he said, "We've got a vacancy in promotions. I think you'd be much more suited to that." There we have it.
Rest is history.
Absolutely.
And you teach it now?
Through a long story, because of the internet, in about 2008, I just thought, I really don't know how to do my job anymore because there were gatekeepers. The internet allows gatekeeping, whereas before I could pick up the phone to a journalist and say, "I've got this story, are you interested, yes or no?" It was getting harder and harder to do the job. So I thought, okay, I need to go and learn about social media and how people are using it these days to PR. And I did, and I thought they would laugh at me, but they didn't, and they embraced me, and I did 2 years of a BA in public relations, and then did 3 subjects that made me think, wow, learning is exciting. What are my options? And my course leader at the time said I could transfer to a master's without completing my BA based on my age and years of experience. And I did. I transferred to a master's, and then the year after, she bumped into me in a cafe and asked whether I'd be interested to give a talk. So I said yes. And then would I be interested to co-teach with her on campaigning and persuasive skills?
Wow.
Absolutely. I'm not going to turn that down.
Yeah.
And I also teach at UCLA's Writers Extension Programme. So, yes, I'm doing lots of bits of teaching.
And for you, why is it so important that people develop skills in public relations?
It's all about the message. We don't have to work in business. The way we communicate amongst each other is all about the message that we send. And I had a very interesting conversation with somebody the other day who said, all my life I've been misunderstood. I feel I've been misunderstood. And I had to say, well, why do you think that is? What are the messages are you giving that make you think that people are misunderstanding you? So, it's from a personal standpoint to a wider standpoint. We have to think about the message we put out there one way or another.
Mm-hmm. And you've been touring over the whole country.
Yeah.
Literally everywhere. What are you hoping that your tour and your talks will achieve?
Well, I just felt that last year, September was the first time I rolled out the talk. I just felt that people were interested. The talk that I started with is how to promote your book. That says what it is. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people come to hear that because I found that through the libraries, there are so many people who are self-published who write and put the book up there for sale. And that's the end of it. They don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
So I've come in to say, well, actually, if you are investing that much time in writing and getting it published, please don't forget that you need to invest in PR. If you've got something to say, it's worth that investment.
Because they've got to convince people to go and read it.
Absolutely.
And so you were saying, what I was going to say, why the focus on writers in particular? What brought you to think that? Because
I've had clients who are writers, in particular the writer Anne Perry. I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she writes Victorian mysteries. Mm-hmm. She's an international New York Times best-selling writer. And it was through her I organised about 55 library engagements for her. She's a British writer. And it was just fascinating to see how many people came up to me afterwards and said, I write books, but I don't think I could be as good as Anne, and I just thought, well, there is obviously a gap in the market for people to learn about promoting their work. And interestingly, there was an article in the American, I think it's the Publishers Weekly, that talked about how independent writers don't have access to what traditional writers have, and that is the machinery for marketing and PR. And if some of what I impart at my talks at libraries and literary festivals helps people further along the way, all the best to them.
And I think writers are probably a good target market because I don't know about you, Susie, but writers tend to be quite shy, don't they?
Yes.
They're not very good at self-promotion.
We work alone, don't we?
But I think because we're of an age group, no offence to, most people, I mean, my kids, use the internet and social media as second nature. But my generation, I'm 53, we didn't grow up with that, and we were quite reserved, and we didn't promote ourselves. We're not exhibitionists.
We're British, for
we're
goodness
British.
sake. We don't fly our own flag.
Yes, so I've had to relearn that and embrace it, because if I'm rolling out these talks, I also need to practice what I'm teaching.
Mm-hmm. And would you recommend, you really enjoyed your career, but with it changing with the internet and stuff, would you recommend other people choose public relations as a career choice?
I think it has to suit your nature, and it does very much suit my nature. I'm outgoing, can't you tell? And it depends on, what your interests are. We were chatting the other day, and I know you have a particular interest in a subject matter as a writer. Can you see yourself promoting your book to the wider market?
No, I think I'd sooner bury myself in a small hillock than try and tell somebody to read my writing.
If you got vast amounts of money, you could employ me. Yeah. But that's not the object of this exercise.
Exactly. So can you go through again for people that are interested, people that don't want to bury themselves in hillocks and are interested in promoting their businesses or their writing or the book that they've got kind of dusting up a drawer. What are you talking about tonight?
So tonight it's an introduction to public relations. So really it's quite an easy pace looking at public relations, why public relations is so important, why do we have to focus on research, why do we have to know our target audience, and why do we have to focus on key messages. Mm-hmm. So, it's embracing all of that and saying, well, once you can master that, you can move forward.
And on the subject of key messages, where is it? When is it? How much is
Sheffield, it? Sheffield City Central Library tonight. Yep. It's the Business and IP Centre from 5:30. It's free to attend. Yay! and I'm not getting paid either, which is great. So yes, have a look on their website, the library's website, or mine, theentertainmentbureau.co.uk, and you can see the link for the Eventbrite, and you can book yourself on there. Hope to see you.